Let me go ahead and share my screen and get the show on the road. Can everyone see my screen? And I apologize.
Yes, ma'am.
Why it should have not started there. Let's try that again. There we go. And I have Mike R on with me as well. He has just started our agent success team. Mike, if you want to say hello.
Hey guys, how are you? Nice to meet everyone on the Zoom today. I'm the agent success manager, so Jennifer will get into that in a bit, but any questions that ever do come up, always feel free to reach out to me, and you'll have my contact information after this call.
Perfect. Again, we're glad to have you, and we are from Sproutt. And we're going to go over the platform on a high level overview today. Again, Joshua said, well, after the call, if you feel that there's a fit for us with you, we're going to go ahead and do a one-on-one to talk more into detail on your comps and so forth and the setup. And this is just going to be, again, an overview of how the platform specifically works. Sproutt was designed to give an excellent experience for not only the agent, but the customer involved from end to end. Sproutt currently has 50 employees. We're probably about 60 or 70 now. We launched in 2019. Our head offices are in New York. We have a satellite office in Kansas City, and then our R&D is done in Tel Aviv, Israel. I am based in Denver, Colorado, and Mike is in New York. So you're home today, aren't you?
Yes, I am home today. I'm right across the Hudson in Jersey City. So I could kind of see the office from where if I leave my apartment, but today, Jersey City, normally New York City.
Yeah. So this product particularly is not available in New York yet, but we are in all 49 other states, and we hope to be in New York with an additional product very soon. Our financial strength, we are working with A-rated carriers, and we are heavily funded. We will be announcing a PR on our most recent funding, hopefully very soon. That will be out. So our growth has been extremely explosive over the last couple months. As Josh mentioned, they were one of our first agencies on board for the pilot that we started out in early spring for testing, and he did get very involved on helping us grow the platform and find all the weaknesses and strengths that we need to make you as agents and agencies very successful using the platform. So we're excited about that. Some of the product highlights specifically and the differences that we offer. So our product is a true instant end-to-end. Policy is delivered in the inbox at the end of 15 minutes. The platform itself for the approval probably only takes about 8 to 10 minutes, depending on how fast you type. We'll get to that in just a little bit. The face amount currently, it goes up to $1 million, and it goes for a 20-year term. We're currently offering 5, 10, and 15, 10, 15, and 20-year terms. And again, we'll get to the little details on that shortly. It is available up to age 55 with this current product. Again, we're available in all 49 states. And one of the highlights of this product that a lot of agents are really enjoying is that it's fast access to a collateral assignment. So this becomes really a big seller or a key feature when you're trying to work with maybe a loan agent or a loan officer for a small business SBA loan. So some of the top reasons why agents love Sproutt is it's quick and fully online for agent onboarding. We can get you up and going with just in a day. The instant approval policy, again, is delivered in under 15 minutes. But most importantly, there's no case management. So there's no paperwork, nothing to have to go back to, no follow-up. It's a real-time customer qualification that saves the agent's valuable time. And that's the key feature here. It's a one and done type process. So 100% online for the agents and the customer. The application can be completed by either the agent or the customer anywhere. So it's 100% mobile friendly, and payment can be done. Ready for this? It's a term product that goes up to $1 million using credit card or bank draft. So that's another big key point right here, because there's not a lot of options. And that's not just for the first payment. That is an ongoing credit card debit. We offer competitive pricing and commissions. And then it's designed for independent agents in mind. However, we do offer captive agencies. We can have that conversation if needed, or financial institutions. However, the platform was designed for the independent agent. and helping to maintain your customer relationship. Because if they have a good buying experience, then it's a great overall experience for you. And you're going to maintain that and get lots of referrals off of them. The agent portal provides an easy way to track your leads, applications, and place business. You have a dedicated coach that provides you all the supports and material you'll need along the way. And that would be either myself or Mike. He would assist you. And then let's go ahead and get into the portal a little bit. I just wanted to give you an oversight of what it will look like. And Sprout's portal is always going to be live, up to date with full transparency. Before we get started into this, does anyone have a quick question for us?
I do.
No?
This is Rich.
Yeah.
I do. This is Rich Rossi.
Okay, hi.
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
I'm just jumping into this 30 seconds prior. You mentioned something about Israel. Can you tell me what you said then? Who's from
Yeah,
Israel?
absolutely. So our R&D, our research and development team, is based out of Tel Aviv, Israel. So our main headquarters are there.
The main
And then-
headquarters for
Sprout. For Sprout, correct.
and is Sproutt the insurance company?
So Sprout is not an actual insurance company as of yet. We are coming out with our own product in Q1 of 22. That will be exclusive, but currently right now, I guess in a way we're considered more like an MGA. We're providing you with a product from an A-rated carrier. So currently on the platform right now, this product is an SBLI efficiency product. And we will be adding additional products over the next couple of months. So it's only a term up to $1 million. There will be a final expense, a guaranteed issue, and a more robust term. Mike, what would you say? Probably in about 2 months, we should see them on the platform.
Yeah, that's the talks where we're at now. Anywhere for 2, no more than 3 months is when we'll have that bigger product suite available. Guaranteed issue of some sort, then traditional accelerated term, where if they don't get through that accelerated underwriting process, then it would go into traditional underwriting.
And then our proprietary product that will be exclusive to us that we built will be available in, as I said, Q1.
Correct.
All right, you're kind enough to open up for questions, and I certainly don't want to go down a path that you don't want to talk about today. So if I understand where we're at right now, because our time is limited, we have a drop dead at the top of the hour to get off. So you're working with either one or multiple insurance carriers. You're not going to give that information today, and this is something that's going to come out in the fall, correct?
We're a very transparent company. We'll definitely give you whatever information if you want to take this into a different call. We have no problem with that. Yeah. What is proprietary to us? So we definitely don't want to say we have proprietary products. However, they are different. Nobody else is selling what we have on the platform. It's there, there is definitely ability for all of you to sell SBLI. The SBLI product that you would have access to is not the same. The proprietary product for us is the way we deliver.
Okay.
The product.
So Holly, perhaps you could set up a sidebar conversation with Philip and I at a later time. Okay. Thank you.
Sure, absolutely.
Perfect. And then here, this is the full transparency to the platform. Currently, we're basing it off of Salesforce. However, we are in development to create our own back end. But to date, this is how it will look. Agents can see the status of each customer and application, generate and export reports, and have a clear view of their business and compensation. So what does that mean? That means that when a customer is brought into the portal, you are able to get their contact information. You are able to pivot them to something if we're not able to provide them with that product. You own the customer. Sprout does not own the customer. And I want to make that very clear because that has been a big question with a lot of agency owners and agents. Does anyone have any questions to that? Because there are some similar type products out there that don't give true transparency and ownership to the client. Good. All right. Anyone have any questions as far as Salesforce or reporting goes, or any abilities?
There is a question in the chat. Do you expect that using a credit card for ongoing payments will improve persistency? Apparently they lost a client because of problems when they changed banks. So are you planning on keeping credit card payment?
We are keeping, and actually we have been using it on our in-house side for testing purposes, and we've done great using the credit card. Part of our service to your customers and to you as an agency and agent we will handle all of the problems that may come about with the credit card. So whether it's, expiring credit card, changing, decline for whatever purpose, we have a team of advisors that'll reach out to make sure that that policy does not lapse. So yes, we do hope that the credit card payment is very favorable. All right, so let's go into the electronic application and the ways that the actual platform works. So the simple application or electronic application, it makes it much easier to sell. We have 3 ways that they can actually purchase the insurance through you as the agent. We have what is called the Agent Assist. So this online agent platform allows agents to walk their customer through the application process from start to finish. This would be your traditional e-app. It's a little bit shortened, comparable to most e-apps out there. There are a little bit of hangups that we could get into in a few minutes, that it does need to be recorded, and there is a privacy statement that needs to be signed mid-application. However, it's very similar to most applications out there right now. The agent would pre-qualify the customer and provide the quote personalized in just minutes. Then we also have where the agent can pause the application, and this is where we call the hybrid version. And they can pause the application anywhere along the way, and they can send it SMS or email. So a lot of times you have that, pull back from the client that they don't want to give their social security number. They don't want to give their banking details. Maybe they want to think about it. They don't have time. You caught them while they were at work. Whatever the case may be, you can start the quote and send it to them. They pick it up and they'll finish it. Does anyone have any questions on that part? Okay, and then we have the customer self-service link. This is the part that everyone's really excited about. Everyone is dreaming about drinking the pina coladas on the beach while their clients just keep adding money to their bank account. Theoretically, it sounds great. Theoretically, it actually can work, but of course we know that that's not 100% viable. So this is the unique URL. This flow is where the customer is completely taking charge of the whole process and the agent is hands off. Why we like this, and we've seen a lot of success, is because as you know now, clients don't answer their phones. They're not home for a door knock. They don't respond to emails. They don't respond to texts. They are interested, but they've been bombarded. And so this now can be really unique and creative in a lot of different marketing ways. We've been working with our pilot agencies and agents for some creative ways to market, whether that was TikTok, Facebook, mailing out to your old book of business. This also can help drive business. So those of you that are only doing final expense and not working specifically on term, you can follow up all of your business for referrals. They just send this link. This has also been really key right now. Unfortunately, we've been going through some crazy times with COVID and some of these other situations in life. And for any of those clients that fit the profile, that they're young, healthy, they just want to get quick coverage, but they don't want to go through all of the lengthy application processes and deal with anyone or talk to anyone. They see the ad, they click on it, and they have insurance within minutes. Does anyone have any questions specifically to this part?
Hey, this is Terry and Tanya with True Invest. I have one question. When you send it back over to the example, when you said that they had a pause and you send it to them and for them to finish filling it out. Okay, so is the client, are they able to submit it, or do we still have to submit it?
You're talking about the hybrid where you start the quote and then send it to them? No. Once you send it to them, they take over the application from there. You have in your portal access to pick up on both sides. So you can go back if they only just did, maybe they enter their social security or their banking, and then you wanted to pick it up and close it out. You absolutely have the ability, but you have handed the ability to walk it all the way through from wherever you left off to payment without having to follow up with them.
So my question is, do they submit it to the carrier, or do we have to still do it?
Nope.
They can do it. Okay.
Yep. And once you send it to them, it's completely hands off for you at that point, unless they want you to go back to it. And let's say, for example, you did send it to them, through an email link or a text link, and then you didn't see it close out. You have the ability to go into your portal, click it back open, resend them an email with the link, or, call them back and say, hey, you forgot to, move on or so forth. So you have both options, but 100% they can complete it all the way through. All right. So Sprouts.
Can I ask a question too?
Yeah.
Are replacements allowed on this too? So if somebody's replacing policy?
We're going to get to that. That's a great question. So at this time, because it's an instant policy, none of the instant policies like this are going to be able to offer a replacement. It's just, so in that scenario, obviously they're able to get more coverage, but they would have to keep that one and then cancel it out on their own. Hopefully, eventually we'll have some replacements, but being so instant, we don't have the appropriate paperwork available for them to do so. But that is a great question, and we will go over that shortly. Any others? All right. So Mike, if you want to take over this area here.
Yeah, so some of the key policy highlights with this SBLI efficiency product is the pre-qualification process, and you can determine eligibility before placing an application. So where that works great here is as you're completing the questions, the health section, if you hit no or yes to a question that may draw a red flag, it'll let you know on the bottom and say your client may not qualify for this insurance. So what you would simply do there is either stop the process or you kind of dig around and get some more information from your client to see if they can proceed. And that's the great, pre-qualification aspect of it. With that, the MIB is only ran once, and that's when the application is submitted. So that pre-qualification section is important because if there is an area where you don't feel the client is gonna, get the accepted offer, then you don't have to submit it and worry about a hit on their MIB report. Also, as mentioned, the policy is issued and delivered same day within minutes, about 15 minutes. They can get the entire policy via email. And as Jennifer alluded to, it's roughly an 8 to 10 minute application process. As mentioned before, credit card or bank draft is used for payment. You can choose any mode, annual, semi, quarterly, or monthly. And the one great aspect about this product is a great upsell opportunity. And upon approval, it will let you and your client know if they are able to increase their coverage for more than what they applied for. So say they want to apply for $250,000. It will let them know rate, as it's submitted, if they're allowed to get an additional 500,000 or 750,000. They could choose to, at that point, accept it or not. But it's just a great feature to have. There's really no other insurance carrier out there that does that besides Banner Life. And then we would be the second. And then, as I mentioned, the policy is sent, to the client, directly via email from the carrier. And then here are the product specifications. It's quite simple, straight to the point, term insurance, ages 18 to 50, up to 1 million. That's for 10, 15, and 20-year level term. As we mentioned, we are, rolling out advancements to our product suite. So there will be a 30-year option available at some point in time, probably 2 to 3 months. And then with this product, ages 51 to 55, it's capped at $500,000 for a 10-year term. And these are some of the key points of the application or an applicant must have. They must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, actively employed, or a homemaker or a student. And to that question before, you're not replacing any existing life insurance. And then lastly, not actively in the military.
Does anyone have any questions specifically to the product itself or the client profile?
Are there any living benefits included, like critical, chronic, or terminal illness?
Do you want to?
So no living benefits to that sense. There is a terminal illness rider or an acceleration of death benefit, if the client is deemed terminally ill within 12 months. But right now, no chronic illness riders or critical illness riders within this policy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, to go again, to back that up. So on the terminal side, it is 50% up to 250,000 with this particular product. However, we are coming out with a more robust living benefits, accelerated riders. That product should be out shortly. And then our product in Q1 will also be much more robust with that. However, this is a level term, so there's no increasing, no decreasing. And again, it does offer the terminal illness included.
When you say actively employed, does that include self-employed?
Yep. So as long as they are employed, they can be a homemaker or a student. They just can't be receiving, obviously, any type of benefits. So, you know, this is kind of one of those open-ended questions right now with a little gray area because a lot of people are not employed with COVID, but are they not employed collecting benefits, or are they not employed maybe staying home with their children right now and just not collecting a paycheck? So if they're a non-working spouse homemaker, it would be okay. Obviously, income has to be a factor. All right, so we're going to go ahead and show you just a quick overview of logging into the agent portal and what the experience would be like when you're doing an application. We're hoping to have our marketing team have this on a little video flow for you to be able to go back and watch again. But let's just take you on the little journey here. So you're going to go in and log into your portal. There is going to be a protect your identity, a verification code that's going to pop up. This isn't going to pop up every single time. It's about, what is it, Mike, about every week or so, unless you're changing devices. And unfortunately, we have to have that on there for compliance issues for privacy.
Yep, and that's correct.
And then you're going to call in and record your calls with Sproutt. Nobody's actually listening to these calls. However, it is something that is required with SBLI. They are making it mandatory. We are working on some modifications to have this built right into the CRM and to make this process much smoother. But for now, when you do call in, it's actually an updated phone number from here. So you'll have the new one. It's an 844 number. When you do call in, all you have to do is say your client's name. You don't need to put any other information in. It reads your phone number that's assigned to you. Hopefully you're calling. If you're not, we can have a conversation on that and explain more in detail. So it makes the process very quick and simple. It's just a three-way call. You don't have to do it for the actual quote part. It's not until you start asking the medical questions that you would have to make sure you're recording it. So then you're gonna, I don't know why that popped up in there. I apologize about that. But however, the tracking, again, as we said, it's all real-time tracking to generate reports. And then here is the underwriting question. So after you've quoted, over to the right here, you're going to see this little bar and it starts to have a recommended. So as you put in details, this recommended arrow here will start to move depending on where the client qualifies for. And then you can move and adjust and give the quote. So again, we have the 10, 15, or 20 years. There's an acceptance chance rater right here. At this time, our max acceptance is at 77. So our 77 is really probably like a 98 to 100. Keep that in mind. We don't want to take that off because as you're putting in applications and data, this information here is only going to get smarter with time. And then the lowest, I believe, is set right now around like, they're saying to put in the application, I want to say it's like around, if you're still seeing the 30% or so, we still want you to proceed. And truthfully, at this time, we want you to continue to proceed just so you can see what type of client fits the profile. The underwriting questions, there are 17 of them. There is a COVID question in there. As you ask each question, the next one will populate. And then after you finish the questions, this is going to be the part where you read the script. And then you're going to send them the email with the privacy. It's a quick DocuSign. From experience, and what we've been seeing is that this client profile is generally a younger crowd. They're already very technology savvy. They're already probably holding their cell phone in their hand. We thought there was going to be some pullback or hesitation to this. It has been very seamless. They get the little notification pop up. They DocuSign it right on the phone. Then you're able to move on. You cannot move on until they have signed it. Then you're going to go into the beneficiary details, go through all of this.
There's no banana.
Oh, I thought you had a question for me. Did you have a question or? Let me mute them. All right. And I apologize. Something is going on. I don't know if it's because we're on Zoom, but it keeps skipping over and I don't see a slide. So. And then you're going to go ahead and submit the application at this point. This is when it's going to go into the MIB. Now, remember, I talked about the hybrid. If you don't want to go through the whole process with the DocuSign and recording, you can start the quote and then send it to the client on the SMS or the email, and you bypass all of this work. So just keep that in mind, depending if you're talking to a client that you know won't maybe be as successful going through the flow or doesn't want to be recorded, there's going to be a different way to sell to them. So you don't have any feedback, negativity on it. So once you submit the application, at this point, this is when the underwriting will take place. We use LexisNexis. It'll do the MVR, obviously the pharmaceutical report. And then you're going to get the we did it. So this is going to be just a general overview of what you applied for. Here you see Centrian. I just want to make this known as well. Centrian is going to be written in Connecticut. Everywhere else it will be an SBLI under the insurer. Do we have any questions at this point? Good. All right. So then the application has been processed, and then you get a little pop-up like this instead of the we did it. This will also be seen if they're in the customer flow and you are not licensed in that state, or they're over the age of 55. We don't tell them that they were necessarily declined. We want them to talk back to you as the agent to see if you can pivot them to something different. So keep that in mind. If you ever get a customer telling you for some reason that they had this and they don't know why, you can go into the portal and you will be able to see, it won't give it a specific answer, but it'll let you know whether it was a third-party vendor, if it was something in the underwriting, and then you know where to place them. Our underwriting, as Mike had went over with you, and we can go over this again when we do our onboarding with you all, it is pretty wide. Our underwriting guidelines are for medical, I would say, is probably we have been saying it goes to about a table 1 or table 2 to fit into our standard. But Mike, do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because I know we had some questions on that if it went all the way to a 4 in comparison.
Yeah, so, focusing on build and BMI, this product it's fairly aggressive in that area. So if you have a client that is a little heavier, then this is going to be probably the better of the products to choose from. Their standard rate on the build side, it goes down to a table C or table D. So anyone that would fall into that traditional table C or table D build or BMI would actually be eligible for a standard here. So that's one of the better aspects of this product, along with, any history of driving with any DUIs or suspensions. They traditionally go back 5 years on this, where a lot of times you see carriers go 7 to 10 years on that.
And it was also, I believe, substance abuse was only 7 with us, where a lot of carriers go 10 as well. So we'll give you all of that information too, but there are some sweet spots. So the pricing becomes very competitive when those traditionally would have been a table and they're a standard instant without any type of exam or full underwriting. So that's definitely a plus side. And then this is going to be where they complete the application. So they will get this part. I just want you to see some of the features on here because everything is branded under your name as the agent, co-branded with the Sproutt. And again, agent is the sender. So all of the email communication will come from you as the agent. You'll have personalized communication. You'll have a clear call to action button. And your agent detail contact details. All of this is easily updatable in your portal, just under the profile. Does anyone have any questions at this point? All right. And so what's next? So if you are ready to join Sproutt, we're going to send out a Sharons Bay link to all of you this afternoon. Just make sure that you confirm your E&O and AML training and all your licenses are up to date. You will start a new contract with us. It will not interfere if you already are contracted with SBLI anywhere else. We are paying you directly from Sproutt. You are not paid from a carrier. And then we will have an onboarding webinar. We're going to have some static ones. And if you are not able to attend, we definitely can do a one-on-one individual one, or if you are bringing on an agency, we can also talk agency level as well. At that point, we'll walk through Sprout's agent portal, how to place an application, product overview again, review any training and marketing resources and cover any FAQs, and then have a question and answer session. And then immediately attending the webinar, you're actually able to just start selling.
Jennifer, could you pull up the client-facing portal and just kind of do a walkthrough of what it looks like for the client when they do a client-facing application?
Yeah, let me see if I can grab that for you.
So I know for our agency, that has been the really cool thing about the product, because what we've been doing is we've been using it to email to old age dead leads. We've even started putting it on some door knock cards when we're at the door. So those people that would never call us back are getting on and actually running quotes on themselves and completing applications. So I think that's really cool that they can actually do it all from start to finish on their own.
Yeah, and so this is just my sample landing page that I use. But as you can see here, so this is all going to be branded into your name. This is what it's going to look like. It is mobile friendly. So as Josh was saying, you can put this on all of your marketing, you know, whether you want to put them on a magnet on the back of your card, to business cards, to old book of business, social media, however you see fit for it. The customer is going to go right into it, click get started, and it's a completely different flow from the e-app. From the experience that you're seeing. So that's going to be a much cleaner experience. With the customer flow, it's much more engaging. We don't ask for customers' information up front because why? Nobody wants to give real information. You're going to get a lot of fictitious numbers, a lot of fictitious names, and they're just running quotes everywhere. This starts to engage them, and I apologize, it runs so slow on Zoom. But it'll engage them and ask the questions where they want to continue putting in the information. So we'll just go ahead and just create a quick little run through. We'll put in some information here. So as you see, it's very graphical and it only goes one by one. If you don't feel like being a male or female today, you can be a rainbow unicorn. Today I decided to be a female. And then we won't put my real age. We don't need to share that this morning. And wait, I decided I'd quit. You can go back, change. Does anyone have any questions so far?
I might have missed this in the beginning. How did they get to this point? They received a text message, is that correct?
So that flow is going to look slightly different. That's going to be more of your traditional e-app. This is going to be the agent URL that you're using in any type of marketing. So this is when I was joking and saying, you know, theoretically, if you want to be drinking your pina colada on the beach while you're selling, you know, hands-off insurance, this is it. This is where anywhere you have social media, you want to brand yourself with your URL, put yourself out there. Today's market, today's traditional customer doesn't really want to be sold, right? Everything is about experience. Whether you walk into a restaurant, you're on Amazon, on a website, everything has been based on experience. And so we're trying to take the boring way of selling insurance to customers that don't want to be sold, that don't have time, they don't want somebody in their house, they don't want to sit on the phone, whatever the case may be. And we brought to them a much more engaging approach. And in 10 minutes, they complete this and they now have a policy emailed to them. Does that make sense to you?
It does, yeah. I think I heard you guys say earlier, I think maybe Josh had mentioned it, right? If you had maybe some old B leads or just people who never picked up the phone, were never home on a door knock, this could be a really good option for those individuals. Is that right?
This is a great option. We've seen it already work successfully. So you can take this link, go back to your old book of business, and restart conversation. And maybe that this product wasn't a fit for them. Maybe they were declined, but now you're also opening up other conversations. Same thing with, we're not doing Medicare and we're not working with the final expense leads, but they have family members, they have referrals, and this is just a quick, easy way for them to send out. So there's a lot of ways to utilize this to find old business that nothing ever happened with it. Absolutely. So finding creative ways to hit back to your old book of business with this can really be a moneymaker for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. And then real quick, Stephen is asking, how often do we get paid? So currently right now, we'll go through this real quick and then we'll go back to that in a second. So let's say none of the above. And then typically we're finding we have seen some approvals with 3 and 4 medications. Mike, did you get that medication list put together yet for us?
So from speaking with SBLI, there's really no set list. It's just that they don't want combinations of more than 2 or 3 of medications, depending on what the client situation is. Like for mental health or mental illness or depression, they'll allow up to 3 medications for that. Whereas if you have cardiac issues, there might be, a stop at 4 medications. So we are putting together a list of those medicine combinations, and we'll definitely get back to you on that.
Okay, so at this point, and we'll get back to your question in 1 second there on the comp or pay dates, but I wanted to show this specific area before we moved on. So the client has the option to either continue and going through this flow, which will bring them into what we call a QLI. That is not so important to you as the agent today, but it will be. This is going to build the quality life index. It will show them just healthier ways of lifestyle and how they eat and so forth, or they can skip it and go right into the quote. To go back to what we were talking about, or his question regarding payment. So currently we are set up as an as earned company paid out every 30 days. We are hoping to get it set to every 2 weeks. There is a very attractive bonus structure that is good for the rest of the year until our new product rolls out. With that bonus structure, you are paid on a monthly. And I see a question with a hand raised. Are you asking that question? What % do you find completed online themselves? Is that what you're asking about? If this part on the flow, if you send out? Okay. So really that's hard to say because with this type of marketing, are you talking about once they actually go onto it and complete it? That's actually a very high completion rate. How many that they send out and actually will go into it, that's such a hard variable to say because everyone's, putting this into their old book of business on social media. So you can't really necessarily track it that way. But the success of them converting is very high. And once they fit the profile, it's about an 83% acceptance rate.
My question was meaning, let's say I decided to go in, put in my information. How many just, bounce off and cancel it because they don't understand something versus going and completing it fully?
Okay, so we actually had tested this with consumer behavior for quite some time. And that's why we decided to put their contact information towards the end of this because we found a much higher persistency of them staying on and completing it versus falling off were traditional quoters. And that's why I was saying traditionally, they'll put in fake information or they'll just move on. We have found a much higher conversion rate with them staying, going all the way through on this. But again, I can't answer you with a complete number just because we don't know necessarily where they're marketing, but this flow we've seen some very high persistency with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so let's go back to the comp. Again, the comp is bonus structure is paid out every month. It is very aggressive. I don't want to give out too many comps here because I know there's some agency owners as well on here, but it is very competitive. And again, we are hoping to have the pay changed from every 30 days to every 2 weeks very soon. You have another question? NBK, did you raise your hand again?
No, I didn't raise my hand.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Does anyone have any questions as far as the customer flow or commissions? All right, great. And let's see, any other chat? Nope. Does anyone else have any questions as far as Sproutt as a company, the way we operate, what we're doing over here, or anything specific to the platform? We are good then. Josh, do you have any questions, Holly?
No, that's awesome. I think that really goes through it. So just kind of let everyone know. So basically, once the client fills out this section here, at the end of the questionnaire is when it's going to give them their options as far as amounts and what that coverage is going to look like. What we've noticed is price-wise, typically they're getting quotes that beat National Life Group, Mutual of Omaha. So it's a very competitively priced product. So yeah, you can see it makes it very simple for them to select how much coverage they're looking at and go from there.
Yeah, and it'll explain right here to them how the policy would accelerate a benefit rider included at no cost, monthly options. One of the fantastic things that we noticed and Mike had talked about is that we're seeing customers actually increase their coverage amounts. So say, for example, and I had noticed this when I was personally testing, I would send somebody a quote in the hybrid mode for say 200,000. And then I would see that particular customer ended up closing and paying and accepting the policy for 275,000. And I was seeing that over and over again. And so it's very interesting to see that your premiums are much higher with this type of process. And I don't know if it's because customers have that fear in the beginning that they just can't afford it, or they have that hesitation that they don't want to be embarrassed because they're not going to qualify. You know, when you start throwing out numbers of 750 or $1 million, it's very intimidating sometimes, and people don't think that they are able to qualify for that amount. But once they do, they want it, and they find the money somehow, some way, right, to pay their premium. We know, obviously that's always, nobody wants to pay a high amount. They always want the best, price they can get. But then once they see what they were approved for, and then they, start to, in their mindset, go, well, it's only $5 or $10 more than where I was at. For $5 or $10 more, I'm giving my family this much more protection. So that's a great advantage for you guys as agents selling. Do you have any other questions as far as this part goes?
I guess another reason of it would be that they don't feel like they're being sold either.
That's the biggest part to all of this. Exactly. So when the customer is doing it on their own, they're not being sold. And that's really the biggest part of the experience of Sproutt in general and today's consumer. I mean, put it this way, and I keep having this conversation. I love Best Buy, but I hate walking into Best Buy. Why do you hate walking into Best Buy? Because the second you step foot in there, you're being attacked by salesmen, which if they didn't come, then you would complain about the store not having good customer service, right? So it's one way or the other. However, the experience in there, you just feel bombarded. I'm just looking. It's the same thing with our customers when they're getting quotes. But what we have seen, and when they go through this process, they're not going to another quoter. They're already being walked through, and they're so fully engaged that they just continue the process. They see that they can pay for it with a credit card. It's been a great experience. There's no need for them to shop a quote out anywhere else or go anywhere else. They have basically, into NBK's question earlier, that's why we're seeing such a high persistency with a conversion all the way through. And I think you're raising your hand again. NBK, did you have another question?
I'm not. I don't know why he keeps doing that. Not at all.
Oh, that's okay. I just want to make sure I'm not missing out on you. But yeah, so to answer earlier with that conversation, it's definitely been a big increase in sales with that. So if we are done and nobody else has any questions, if you are an agency owner and you do want to talk on a deeper level, again, this was just a high level overview of Sproutt as a company and what we do. We'll dive deeper into the onboarding and how to actually place the applications and much more detail on that. We'll send out the Assurance Bay link today to all of you. All you have to do is sign that, whether you're an agent or an agency. That'll begin the contracting, and then we can go ahead and go into further details with you.
And one thing on that, if you are interested in Sproutt, please send it to, and it has really, you're not contracting with us at all, but we're kind of keeping track of it. If you'll send it through contracting@theappointmentfirm.com, That way we can kind of make sure downlines get how they need to be and stuff like that. Couple eyes on it always helps. I know Jennifer's got a lot going on, and so a couple different eyes will be on it just to make sure that downlines go to the correct person if you're an agency owner, stuff like that. Is that okay with you, Jennifer?
Absolutely. That's great. That way I can work with you and make sure that we do have the downlines set up correctly, because we definitely want everyone to get the appropriate overrides that they need. And just one of the things that we didn't talk about that we'll talk about more into the onboarding, we are not only just a full transparent company, as I said, you own the customer, we're not owning your customer, but we also are very supportive. So our marketing team is in high gear right now, pumping out some assets for LIMRA for Life Assurance Awareness Month in September. We're really excited about that. We have some other bonus opportunities that are going to be announced shortly on top of already the bonus and the comp that's out there. So that's very exciting. And then again, if you ever need any assistance, retraining support, that's what Mike and I are here for.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jennifer and Mike, for doing this. I hadn't formally met Mike, but he's very knowledgeable. Thank you guys, both of you, for going over this with us. Sproutt is awesome.
Yeah, it was nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, we're excited to get you all going. And just so you guys know too, you guys are all early in the game. So this only opened up to independent agents as of August 1st. The pilot is actually not even officially over yet. So you are definitely in early. So this gives you a lot of advantages. If you're an agency, it gives you great opportunity for recruitment as a tool. And then, for agents out there, you have something that a lot of other agents don't have.
I put the link, the email address in the chat for you guys to send it to, hey, you want the link, and then you put in, I'm assuming they get contracted first and then downlines get contracted, right?
Nope, we'll go ahead and contract, because everybody will have the same SuranceBay link under you all. And again, we'll send directions on that. You're going to be creating a new account because Sproutt is paying you directly. You're not contracted through SBLI. It won't interfere with any other contracts you have anywhere else. And then you and I will work to make sure that their downlines are correct. And then if they're an agency, we'll give them the appropriate contracting.
Perfect.
So yeah, for today, to keep it clean and simple, if you're interested, please send contracting to at the appointment firm, and we'll go ahead and send you out that link. You can get contracted today, and then we can open up conversation this week.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everyone being on here. One more thing, wanted to announce, we are actually having an industry non-specific IMO. Just in general, we're having a training event coming up in Las Vegas, and it's going to be a very large event. It's sponsored by a gentleman who has been on stage with Tony Robbins. Marshall Silver is putting on an event with us, and he is a closer. It's called Turning Point. Everyone is invited. Like I said, it's not a specific IMO event. There's no recruiting allowed. Just go. There will also be real estate agents there, solar panel, all different kinds of sales there. He is a closer when it comes to being able to get the sale done. He teaches you how to get the sale in 15 minutes. That's his specialty. So I'm excited. Everyone is invited to attend. It is January 14th through 16th in Las Vegas. We're working on the venue. I believe it is going to be at a place called Alexis Park. And it is there's 2 levels of tickets. If you attend the VIP level is $1,000. The general admission, this is my favorite part. It is $4.99. Put a card on hold if you choose to go to every day of the event. It's 2.5 days. You get your money back, the $4.99 back that next Monday. So it's a free training event, but we want you to learn how to close while you're there instead of taking part of Vegas during the event. So it is actually very cool. Just wanted to throw that out there. Everyone is invited. So with that, Josh, did you have anything else?
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks everyone for hopping on. Guys, thanks for presenting today for us. That was awesome. We're looking forward to kicking this off with everyone and getting out there. I know we've seen some good success with it, and this product does things that nothing else out there is doing. So if an agent can pick it up and just add a few extra policies to some of their even like aged and dead leads, it's completely worth taking the time to get used to it. It's so easy to just send out a link and email a link out to folks.
Absolutely. And there's some competitors out there offering instant type platforms. But if you take a look at ours and compare it to what they have, we are the most robust out there. And we offer lots of additional support through the platform itself for the agents. So please compare, and you will absolutely be calling us at Sproutt ready to join.
So yeah, guys, if you're interested, send an email out to us at contracting@theappointmentfirm.com. We'll get the contract links out and get the process started. And then for agency owners that aren't with TAV, get in touch with me and we'll talk about kind of how the agency side of things works for you as well. All right. So thanks for hopping on today. Appreciate everyone.
You guys have a great week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.